Suhoor can often feel like a rush, but in today's recipe, we're going to show you how to prep an entire week's worth of suhoor in just a few minutes. Assalamu alaikum, this is Amanah from Amanah Fitness, and today we have a really practical time-saving way to save a lot of time in suhoor by doing literally all the work you need up front to make 7 delicious recipes for overnight oats. Now, oats are an absolutely amazing suhoor. You know, they're packed with fiber and protein and iron. Great way to start off the morning for suhoor, give you long-lasting energy throughout the day. So let's go into this recipe. Now, I have here these little jars. Nice little small jars. What we're going to be doing is making these as single servings. So basically, the minimal work is required. We're just going to do a little bit of stuff here to throw some things into jars, and then we're going to cap these jars and stick them in the fridge. And you literally can do all the work you need at the beginning of the week, and these oats, they don't require any cooking. They literally soak up the liquid that we'll be adding overnight, and they become soft and pillow fluffy, and you literally have to do no cooking. So we're gonna start off. We got these nice little jars. You can see single servings, and we're actually gonna just go ahead and put some rolled oats in here. And now rolled oats, just wanted to quickly show you guys the difference between rolled oats and quick oats. So these are rolled oats and versus these are quick oats. And rolled oats, you can see they're a little bit grittier, you know, they're even a little bit bigger, and basically those have undergone less processing. So for those of you guys who know, in the ebook we talk about, the Ramadan Reset ebook, we talk about the 4 P's of food, the integrated circle of nutrition. And one of those is really the level of food processing that has occurred. So obviously rolled oats have been less processed than the quick oats. So we want to use these. Normally rolled oats take longer to cook, but because we're doing this smart technique with overnight oats, no cooking required. It's going to be great. So first thing to do is to put the oats into all of these jars. So we're making 7 different flavors of overnight oats, and of course you guys can mix and match with whatever flavors you want. I just came up with 7, and you guys can go crazy and, you know, experiment with this. So I find it's really helpful just to make a little paper funnel out of you know, just anything that you have, just so that we can control the oats and make sure they go in. And so literally we're just going to start off with 1/3 of a cup of rolled oats, and we're going to be dumping those into every single one of these jars. So that's step 1 done. Again, these jars are bigger, so you know, feel free to use whatever size Tupperware that you have. That is the first step, 1/3 of a cup of rolled oats. Next, what's going in here is chia seeds, 1 tablespoon of chia seeds. Now, chia seeds are great. Not only do they add a bit of extra nutrition into these rolled oats, but what's happening here is that the chia seeds will actually help as a bit of a congealing agent. So it'll help make the oats, you know, really nice and solid overnight. And so we're just going ahead and, again, like shift work, just putting in a tablespoon of rolled oats in each. Perfect. All right, so this is, at this point, you know, we've added the oats, we've added the chia seeds. At this point, you can choose to actually sweeten with stevia. If you want to use powdered stevia, we would add the powdered stevia now. Or you can choose to use liquid stevia. If you're using liquid stevia, we'll add the liquid stevia a little bit in later, but all of the basically powder ingredients go in now. So your choice. If you're adding powdered stevia, put it in now. I'm going to use liquid just because I like how it mixes in a little better. So I'm going to add it later. Feel free to also use honey instead. All right, so we got all of the oats and the chia seeds in here. Now we're going to actually just cap these right now and give them a bit of a shake. Normally these jars come with obviously these types of lids. I actually just like to put those aside, and just from Walmart, you can just grab a whole bunch of these plastic lids. Just find that they last a lot longer. And again, these are just little, really small mason jars that, again, you can just grab at any dollar store or Walmart or anything like that. So we're just going to go ahead and cap these and just start shaking them up just to make sure that the chia and the rolled oats are integrated. Now, the reason why you want to do this is that if you don't shake them up now, especially for these really small jars, if you don't shake them, and then you add liquid later, I find that the chia becomes a barrier for the liquid. So just give them a shake now to avoid any barriers to getting the liquid all the way through. This is the foundation now. So we have a whole 7 things ready, and now we can really have fun with dressing these up and adding different ingredients so that we can have lots of different toppings. There's so much fun that you can have here, and we're going to give you guys a few ideas. All right, so let's start. We're going to start off, first of the 7 is always a favorite. We're going going to basically make a chocolate peanut butter overnight oats. So we're going to start off, I just have here a little bit, I'm taking like a third of a banana, and so I'm just going to go ahead really quick and just, oops, one fell. I'm just going to go ahead and just obviously cut into small chunks. So these small chunks, I'm going to grab those here, and feel free to go with whatever ingredients you like best. I'm going to pop those into the jar. Next, because we want to make this chocolate banana, we're going to grab some cocoa powder. Cocoa powder is fantastic. It gets rid of those chocolate cravings you might have without any sweetener. So we're just going to add a little bit of cocoa powder. You can add as much or as little as you like. So that oats is done. And now, here is where the magic happens. So I'm going to take some almond milk. You can use cashew milk. You can use whatever type of nut milk. You could even use regular milk if you like. I love the almond milk, and it's also a great way to keep the calories down, and especially if you're lactose intolerant, great option. So what we're going to do is we're going to add about a half a cup of this almond milk into these oats. And the thing is, you can use more or less almond milk as you like. The more milk that you add, obviously the more liquidy. Let's do this over here. So if you like your oats being a little bit more watery, feel free to add more of the liquid. So we went ahead and we added a half a cup of almond milk in here. And now the final step that makes this oats totally ready is we're going to put the lid back on. And watch this, shake, 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 shake. Now, let's have a look inside. Obviously, you're saying that doesn't look like oats. This is all like still uncooked. But the beauty of this recipe is that, again, the oats actually, they soak up this liquid overnight. And so tomorrow, when you look at them, you'll be surprised because all of the liquid has been soaked into the oats, and they have this really nice soft texture with literally no baking required. And so in the morning, you can literally just eat it out of this jar with a spoon. This is fast suhoor. You just grab it out of the fridge and you're good to go. If you want your oats to be hot, feel free to actually just microwave them a little bit as well to get the heat in there. But that is totally perfect, totally done, really nice and fast and simple. Like I said, I'm going to be putting those inside the fridge. It needs to sit overnight, so you can't eat it immediately, but if you do this work up ahead, you're golden. Next, we're going to go through some of these different ideas. So here we did chocolate banana. Next one, we're going to stick with the banana theme and actually do a peanut butter banana, because peanut butter is obviously, again, another great source of protein. And in this case, we're going to use just a nice, about another third of a banana right here. And you can obviously feel free to experiment with the different flavors. Now what I'm going to do for this one actually is that I'm not going to add the peanut butter yet. I'm just going to put the milk inside, then I'm going to go ahead and shake it. Now at this point, the reason why I didn't add the peanut butter is because the peanut butter can easily be scooped in tomorrow morning. And again, keep in mind that you can sweeten these however you like. So an option is to add, a couple of squirts of liquid stevia, literally just a few drops, if you like that. Another option would be to add some natural honey. Obviously, that's a great option. Whatever you like to sweeten that is fine. Again, since I added the stevia, I'm going to give it another good little shake. This is like instant oats from like Tim Hortons or from some place you'd get them, like an instant oat parfait, except without any of the sugar. So many oats that you'll find commercially, they're loaded with sugar. This one, obviously, we know exactly what's going into them. Next one we're going to do is like an apple pie. So here I have some chopped apples, and obviously to make this really quick, I like just grabbing my apple and using one of these round kind of cutters to just go in there and chop the apple. Obviously, we want ways to make this really fast. So you cut it like that, and then you chop it further, and then you can literally just grab a small handful of these cut apple pieces. And we're gonna go ahead and pop those apples into the jar. And then here, let's add a little bit of spices. So I have a little bit of cinnamon. Cinnamon is amazing. Cinnamon is actually called a diabetic's best friend because you can get this really nice sweet flavor, obviously without any sugar. That's great. And then here I also have some vanilla powder. It smells so good, and so I'm just gonna add like a teeny little bit in there. And the vanilla powder just really gives it this nice flavor, just like it's an apple pie. All right, so again, same thing. We're going to add in the liquid here, give that a nice little shake. And this one, if I smell it, It smells really good. It literally smells like apple pie. And you can see that the apples are in there, the oats are in there, everything's in there. And that is going to be a perfect instant suhoor. Pop this in the fridge overnight, and in the next morning, it'll just have really expanded and be really nice and puffy. So let's keep going and make some more variations. We're gonna keep playing on the apple theme. On this one, I'm gonna grab another series of the chopped apples. And this one, I'm actually gonna add some raisins into it. So raisins, they're great for, battling the sugar craving because they're so naturally sweet. So feel free to put those in there. And then because I really like the vanilla from last time, I'm gonna just add another little pinch of the vanilla powder in there. We're gonna fill that up. So easy, you guys. This is literally instant breakfast without any of the sugar. And this one, I think it might be nice to maybe sweeten with some honey. So feel free to put that in now, or feel free to even drizzle honey on top the morning of. So that's another one. Shake, shake, shake. Again, smells great. That's apples and raisins all ready to go. So that's suhoor number 4 that we've just prepped in a few minutes. So next one, we're gonna do some berries. So this one's gonna be a berry blast. So over here, I actually have some frozen berries. And frozen berries are obviously going to be really great. And literally, I'm just gonna take a little bit of a small spoon and put some of these frozen berries in there. And then in this one, I'm going to again add that vanilla powder because I really love the vanilla powder, and just, kind of adds a little something extra to the flavor. We got our milk. We're pouring that in there. So we're going to shake it all up. And this one is really going to fill up the whole jar. So tomorrow morning, you'll find that the oats have really nicely congealed. They've soaked up the liquid, and then the chia seeds also help them solidify. And so that's going to make a really nice, beautiful, fast, instant suhoor. Literally no thinking. The next morning, you go in, grab this from the fridge, maybe you pour some honey over it, maybe you pour some stevia on it, whatever it is, that's another instant one. So we have done 5, I got 2 more here. Next one, we're still gonna stick with the berries. We're gonna make this one into a peanut butter and jelly oats. So again, same thing, I'm gonna put in some of these frozen blueberries. And then same thing I'm gonna do with this one, because tomorrow morning, I'm actually going to add in the peanut butter. So I'm just gonna fill this one up. I'm gonna skip the vanilla in this one. And I'm going to give this one a shake now. And then tomorrow morning, when they're all gelled up, I'm going to actually just kind of spoon 1 tablespoon of all natural peanut butter. Make sure it doesn't have any added sugar. And then when I put that peanut butter on top, it's going to make this really nice decadent peanut butter and jelly oats. So that's the next one. Okay, final one we're going to do here is a vanilla raspberry. So I have, again, the same base. I'm going to pull up some of these frozen raspberries. Again, super convenient. Literally, you're having like such a great variety, and you're including the oats, you're including the chia. In this case, you're including the raspberries, so just putting in a couple of those raspberries in there. That's great. We're going to pour in that milk. Perfect. And then I'm going to add some of that vanilla powder again. Put that in there. And then obviously give it a nice shake. This is a nice vanilla raspberry. All right, so there we go. So we did 7 suhoors super fast. So we have, your chocolate peanut butter, we have your banana peanut butter, then we have the apple cinnamon one, and then we have the apple pie one rather, and then we have apple raisins, then we have a berry blast, then we have a peanut butter and jelly, and then now we just made the raspberry vanilla. Such a really nice range of flavors that obviously you can experiment with. I know people like peaches and vanilla and a lot of different stuff. You can add a lot in here. Like I said, you can sweeten with honey, you can sweeten with stevia, you can put some protein powder in if you like there, but these oats are so fantastic. They're high in fiber, which means that it keeps you full longer. Obviously, that's what we want. You'll be feeling fueled throughout the fasting day, inshallah. These oats are so fast and simple. Again, you're gonna be popping these into the fridge and letting them sit in there. Now, I actually made all of these here because I wanted to show you guys, but probably what I would do is make maybe 3 of these up front, and then for the other ones, I would just leave them in the fridge with the toppings in there and pour in the milk maybe the night before so that, they don't go bad or anything. That way, you always have that set up and prepped and ready to go. So meal prep for suhoor is a really, really convenient way to make your suhoor fast and easy. I know that sometimes, you wake up and you're like, oh my God, what time is it? There's like 10 minutes left. So if you have things like this in your fridge, you don't have to go and grab some sugary cereal. You know that I have a delicious breakfast of oatmeal waiting for me with no baking required. You literally just pull it out, and eat it with a spoon. So let me know if you guys have tried overnight oats before. Let me know if if you're gonna try any of these recipes. If you have your own variations, I would love to hear about them. This is one of my favorite breakfasts, and it's a great way to start off your fasting day, right? Inshallah. If you want more suhoor recipes like this, definitely check out the Ramadan Reset Guidebook. So inside the guidebook, we have tons of suhoor recipes, a complete fasting meal plan, and so much more in here. You'll get all of your recipes that's really customized for the fasting state in there. But you guys now have a great way to make a full week's worth of suhoor, so there's no excuse to just have sugary cereal. All right, so are any questions?
Yeah, a couple questions. Where do you find vanilla powder?
So we found this one just at a spice store, any health food store. Sometimes you can also find, I know, the vanilla sticks. I like these obviously because it's just, it's better than vanilla extract. You can just keep it in a jar. Just have a look at your local spice store.
One more question. What are the best types of oats to use?
Yeah, definitely. So we always want to cut down the amount of processing. So we used rolled oats here, which are fantastic. Steel cut oats are obviously even better because they're even less processed, but rolled oats really work well for this recipe. Quick oats are one that many people use, but these, again, they've been processed to a great extent. So rolled oats are my favorite to use here, and I find they just work really well with this recipe.
Can we use nuts in this recipe?
Definitely. One of my favorites is to do like an almond, apple, cinnamon. So feel free to put the nuts in. Obviously the nuts, they will absorb the liquid too, so they won't be crunchy anymore, so keep that in mind. If you want crunchy nuts, feel free to sprinkle those on top. Again, you can really go crazy with the toppings, and it's so much fun to try and brainstorm different toppings. We just did 7, but obviously you guys can see there's unlimited room for really going crazy with the toppings here.
Some more questions.
Oh, okay.
How about cow milk? Can you use cow milk?
Yeah, definitely. You can use whatever milk that you like. I really like the almond milk because I find that it complements the flavors of the oats really nicely, but feel free to use whatever you like.
Another question. Can we make this savory instead of sweet, like perhaps with vege? Veg?
Veg?
Vegetable, probably.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that you could, but I mean, I've never really made a savory oatmeal, but feel free to try that and let us know. One thing you could even do, this is pretty kind of far out there for a few people, is you could actually blend up a green smoothie, and instead of milk, you could pour a green smoothie in here, so it's like a green smoothie oatmeal. That's like kind of extra bonus points for getting spinach in there. So I don't know if anyone wants to try that. All right, awesome. Jazakallah khair for tuning in, guys. Remember to stay tuned on our Facebook page. And then if you miss any of these recipes and you want to check in with that, we actually have just launched our YouTube page. So that's at youtube.com/AmanahFitness. And so you can, kind of check all of the videos that we're putting up here over on there and just have everything in a nice, convenient, easy to access place with a lot of other recipes and stuff up there. So check that out, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much. We will be in here tomorrow again with another live. Talk to you tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Don't miss out. Grab the Ramadan Reset Guidebook for everything you need to know about healthy eating and exercise in Ramadan. The Ramadan Reset Guidebook was created by health and fitness professionals to give you all the tools you need for your healthiest Ramadan ever. From guidelines and a full 30-day meal plan optimized for your fasting state, as well as 90 dietitian recipes, along with fasting fitness schedules, and so much more. This guidebook is available now at amanahfitness.com/Ramadan.